Hello everybody, this is Bill McFadden from Tone Pure Music, and in this video we're going to talk about backup systems for your drives. So right here I have many drives that are currently online as well as their backups. It's about 22 or so. And there's a variety of drives. Some of them are SSDs, most of them are SSDs, some of them are SATA drives. And then there are NVMe drives as well, which are basically PCI based. So the two software programs that I use for backups, the first one is Carbon Copy Cloner, which is available for Mac only. However, there are alternatives to Carbon Copy Cloner, and one of them is Acronis Cyber Protect. There's Paragon Drive Copy, and the one that I would recommend is EaseUS Partition Master, which actually works not only for the Windows machines, but also the Mac machines. And that's the second program that I use. And you could actually just use this one exclusively, whether you're on a Mac or on a PC. So now the way that I'm able to have all my drives online is by using the Otherworld Computer 4 bays. I tend to go with them. So here I have a Thunderbolt 3 4 bay. Here's another Thunderbolt 3 8 bay, another 8 bay Thunderbolt 3, and then I also have some internal drives, NVMe internal drives, which my system drive is internal, as well as a RAID drive. And it actually consists of 4 2 terabyte NVMEs, as well as an internal NVMe, a drive I call internal 2 terabyte, but it's actually an NVMe, not an SSD. And so let's take a look. Well, before we get into the software, here's the current state of the drives online. As you can see, there are 50 drives totaling 154 terabytes, about 71% capacity. So there's a lot of data, sample libraries, video libraries, and so on. And let's go ahead and take a look at the software. The first one, the Carbon Copy Cloner, has a task for each of the drives, the 20 plus drives that are currently online, and will actually run tonight starting about 6 p.m. And I actually have a schedule written out for what times those drives will be starting to take place. But let's look at one in action. In particular, let's go ahead and choose this one right here. The source is 2 terabyte SSD SAMPS, and the destination is the backup. Same name with BU as a suffix. And it's actually run daily every 7 days, or basically once a week. So here's what it looks like when it runs. And it runs fairly quickly. It's about a 2 terabyte drive, so it's going to discover all the information, and it's done. Okay, because it's fairly up to date, nothing's been changed. It's going to take longer if you've added a sample library, let's say 20 megabytes or something, and then you do the backup, it'll back up your 20 megabytes. Now let's take a look at the other program that I use frequently. It's actually EaseUS to do backup. And the reason I use this one, it does one thing the other one does more slowly, is it backs up my system drive fairly quickly. So I use it primarily for my system drive backups, of which I have 2. But let's see how that runs with the same drive, 2 terabyte SSD SAMPs. So here's your source and your destination. One is an APFS drive, the other one's a journal drive, HFS plus. Let's go ahead and run it. So what it first does is builds a file list. So here it's building the file list. So that's why it's a little slower sometimes, not all the times. So now it's discovered about 268,000 files, and now it's starting to compare to make sure everything, see if there's anything new, and if so, it'll back it up. So it's done. It didn't discover anything new, okay, because I haven't added anything new since the last backup. Now, let's take a look at the actual schedule. So, like I said, well, actually, it starts today at 5 p.m., not 6 p.m. And then at 5:05, the first one will go, the next one will go. This one was added recently, so it will go at 6:55 p.m. And then these, the 5:10, 5:15, basically every 5 minutes. This was recently added, so it'll go at 7:10. And here's another one. And notice these 2 system drives will be backed up using EaseUS, and all the rest of them I have using Carbon Copy. I already have the schedules made out, 5:30 p.m. So if I were to go to Carbon Copy, for example, and look at say the 5:30 p.m., which is Delta 2 terabyte, here it is right here. If I click on that, we see here's the schedule, and notice it does start at 5:30, repeats every 7 days. So that's the gist of the software that I use and how I have it organized. And also, if you go to if you're on a Mac and you look at the About and you look at the storage, it'll give you all your drives that are online. So right now there's about 50 some online, because you have the original, I guess there's about 20, because I have 2 8-byte bay, or 8 drive bays, and 1 4-byte. So there's 20 there. Total 8 and 8 is 16, and 4 is 20 drives, and then they're backups. But also, in addition to the drives in the drive bays, there are the PCI drives, the NVMEs, and those are also being backed up, all within about a 2-hour time frame. Because as you see, they're all taking place between 5 p.m. and 7:20 or so. So by 7:30, everything will be done. And if for some reason a drive takes a little longer than anticipated, Carbon Copy Cloner will account for that and then run at the next available opportunity. So if a couple of them take a little longer than anticipated, then Carbon Copy will account for that. So everything will be done by 7:30 or 7:40 or so. Last one runs at 7:30. So that pretty much wraps up the system that I have. So if you are dealing with sample libraries or if you're dealing with video files, if you do a lot of video editing or video creation, then you definitely want to have a viable backup system in place. So if you found this video useful, then please subscribe and click on a like to keep this channel viable and continuing to bring you more information as regards to music production, music creation. So this is Bill McFadden signing off from tonepure.com.